I'd like to invite two people on stage that will elaborate on this with me. Please welcome Vivienne de Leeuw. She's CFO of the Port of Rotterdam, and Sven Tump. I'll be having some difficulties with the Dutch names in English. Forgive me for that. Welcome. Sven, kom erbij. Ik pak ook even een glaasje water voor Vivienne. Deze. Sven, I forgot to tell you that you're the member of the executive board of STC.
Thank you.
And Vivienne is the CFO. Please stand closer to each other.
Right.
So a lot of big words with impact: innovation, technology, safety, sustainability, great challenges. Can you elaborate on the greatest challenges that the port is facing at this moment?
Maybe I'll take that one. Well, as I think all of you know, many transitions are actually coming together in the port as we speak. We have the energy transition, security, digitalization, and raw materials. There's a lot happening at the same time, which is fairly unique. But that also demands something from us. It demands that we change our energy system, and we need to change it now from fossil to circular. As was mentioned in the video, we're working on the port of the future, the port which is smart and merely autonomous, but also circular. And I think that's important. That's also where key and innovative technologies play a vital role in getting there. I think that's important. That's also important why we are here today, because you guys are also working on that and making sure that the education fits to make sure that we get there. It's important.
Yeah, I agree fully, of course. Two of the most important topics of today in the port you just saw in the video and the view outside, it's gone for now, but is the human capital and the energy transition. Those two themes are, I think, the most important, most known topics at this moment that we have to deal with. That are great challenges because there's a lack of qualified people to work in the Port of Rotterdam. And with the enormous challenge with the energy transition, with everything that goes with it, well, it's a big thing, and I think digitalization is one of the solutions to cope with these human capital and lack of human capital in enormous numbers, and to go forward in the energy transition, not only for the Port of Rotterdam, but for the Netherlands, for Europe, and even worldwide. So that's why we are also in a human capital coalition on energy transition together with other institutes, with companies, with government. It's important, and it's important that we collaborate on that theme, those two themes actually, because we need each other.
Could you please unpack some more of this gap between people who are educated and the new technologies, the AI, and all the innovations that we are faced with for the future? How are you planning to bridge that gap?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It goes so very fast. Digitalization is going so very fast that it's hard to keep up. As a school, of course, but also the companies, and not in the last part, the human capital, we, as in the people, not only the young students who are in our educational programs right now, but also the people that are already in the working field for 20 or 30 years. I was educated in the 80s and in the 90s. I'm like really old. So these human skills and those technical skills and the competences we need now, and we need tomorrow and the day after, all these people that are working in the Port of Rotterdam at this moment, they all need reskilling. Just as much as we teach our young students and pupils in this building.
Yeah, maybe to add, we currently have 6,000 vacancies in the port.
Exactly.
But on top of that, because of all the developments and the transitions, we expect that 10 to 15,000 new jobs, so currently not existing jobs, will be added and needed in the port.
How
10
many?
to 15,000.
10 to 15,000.
Yeah.
Added to the 6,000 already.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's why Sven is elaborating on it needs reskilling of the current employees, because we really need everybody on board, but also new people stepping into the new jobs that are currently not there yet.
What would be your main call to action be for professionals who are in education here today? What would you ask them? What is in their power to do to help you bridge this gap?
Yeah, maybe if I can start, as Sven said, we need cooperation. So not only the knowledge and the company side, but also government, local or provincial. It really helps to connect and get to the students earlier. We are also enthusiasing companies to organize site visits so that you can go there and actually experience what is needed there. Do I like it? Is it what I think it is? Because sometimes there's still a sort of a view of the port. It's dirty work and it's only handwork, but that's not the case at all, not anymore. Yeah. And especially in the 10 to 15,000 new jobs, it's really different from what we know today.
Yeah, short sniffle stage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know the word in English, but for the Dutch, among us...
sniffle internship.
Yeah, in English it sounds a little Dutch, if you know what I mean.
Let's go on.
Yeah, how many students are here present, actually? Yeah, so there's lots of students today. How many of you are considering a job in this area?
In maritime?
All of them?
No, I hope all of them.
Okay, what is your main message for the ones who are doubting?
Well, take a look at where the port is going, and I know they are taking a deep look into it, because we are not only teaching in this building, but also in a practical way in the port itself with the internships, etc. So the port is changing. The port has changed already, and it's changing very fast. So like digitalization, it's not dirty anymore. You have a very, very big impact on the economy of Rotterdam, of the Netherlands, again, Europe and worldwide. You have a really big impact if you start working at the port on those big topics like the energy transition. Important for everyone here, important for the future to reach the goals we have set. We need to get to those goals in 2030, in 2050. It looks really far away, but it's happening right now. So if you want to have an impact on that future, then you're at the right place here at STC, but also working in the port of Rotterdam.
So let's address this sustainability elephant in the room, because I've been working with the Dutch National Committee for Sustainable Development 20 years back, and the Millennium Development Goals from 20 years back are like redefined and reformulated again. And I'd like to hear from you how this sustainability question has evolved over the years, because I keep seeing us being not just the Port of Rotterdam, but many other organizations, like we want to be climate neutral or in 2030, and then it's 2040, and now it's 2050. So it is proof that it hasn't been easy to make that transition. Yeah. So please unpack for our audience what challenges you've faced, because there are also policymakers present, probably local policymakers, and we hope to bring the message also to the national policymakers, because it hasn't been easy, I think, to make that transition faster to new energies.
You're absolutely right. It's not easy, and it will not be easy as well. But you really need to look at it as a transition phase. It cannot be done overnight, so it will take time. One of the challenges we face are, if you look at policymakers, is that the vergunningen, don't know the English for licenses that are needed. What we sometimes encounter is that is based on the law from a long time ago, which doesn't fit the state we are in. To give you an example, we are working hard on the Portos project. I think many of you know it. It's a project to store CO2. It's actually being built at the moment. It took many years to get the license there. And there was one hiccup during that license period, not only with the fighting from the NGOs, but we have a fiscal authority who said, well, CO2 in my book of law, it's afval, it's waste. So I'm going to charge you a waste fee. So that was the end of the business case. And that's only because the law didn't develop. Yes, not up to date. Well, the EU law is, but the Dutch isn't.
Yeah.
So those type of challenges we face. So, and I think I'm glad I'm working in the port of Rotterdam, and especially Rotterdam, and you are all, I think, also Rotterdammers. We just do it. We start and we go on and we make sure that it actually is going to happen. And a lot of things are happening. The Portus project is happening. A lot of biomass facilities are being built at the moment. So the transition from fossil to circular is already happening.
Yeah. What time is it? I don't have we started a little late, so we need to wrap up a little. Please prepare questions if you have or comments. My wrap-up question for you guys would be, if you can formulate one critical aspect of what should be done in order for the Port of Rotterdam to keep its position as the smartest port in the world, not to lose its position to Antwerp or, I don't know, what else is relevant? Lisbon?
Well, I think one of the most important steps to take is not to get in the complex situation of competition. Mm-hmm. Competition and interfering rules, like you said, those really hold us back in getting the next steps done. There's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of experience all around in the port, but it's very fragmented between various companies, institutes, etc. And if we keep on putting it out there in a competition way, we don't thrive on that knowledge. We don't thrive on that experience and all we know and we have to do. So when we combine the knowledge we have by putting the competition at second place or third place, then we can grow the market and we can go faster on these themes we talked about. Mm-hmm. So that's for me a very important part in discussion with other institutes, with the companies in Port of Rotterdam. We need the knowledge of the people outside to teach our students. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. So we need to have access to maximum knowledge at every time. Very much because it's going so fast. Yeah. So no competition on knowledge, I would say, would make us stronger and better and faster.
Wow, thank you.
And in addition, knowledge sharing, but also working together. And I know speakers later today, they will also enlighten you about some of the nicest innovations. I've seen some of them. I also wanted to talk about the drones, but I think Arthur and Niels are going to do that later. But those are projects where international cooperation is already ongoing, and that's where also the knowledge sharing is being put to use. So that's a very good development.
Thank you so much so far. Any questions from the audience? So,
well, nice throw.
Nice catch. Nice catch.
Nice throw, nice catch.
Please introduce yourself.
Yes. Do I have to press on anything?
Yes. No, I actually, I'm not sure. Sorry. Yes, no, not sure.
Well, it is like it. Okay.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
It does work.
Now, my name is Thierry Tatren from Saxion University. I have a question about the priority, if there is any, about all these wonderful projects, from a port's perspective. Is it going to be like drone first and then maybe robotics on the ground second? Or is there any priority in the list of all the wonderful ideas that you have for uncrewed and autonomous smart ports?
Well, we tend to not prioritize on that and start pilots simultaneously to see what works. And what we've seen, and I've seen the example for outside, which you will see later as well, is that the different types of innovations actually grab into each other. And you will only notice that once you do them simultaneously We do have a Horizon 1, 2, and 3, so there we make a difference. And also with the companies and the educational institutes we work with are different in the different stages.
Thank you. So I have to throw it to someone else now?
If there's another question,
Not too far away?
no, just keep it all collected in a second during our first keynote. Thank you so much. Take a seat, give them a hand.
Thank you.
Thank you for kicking off.